My fellow students in economics, as you know, my name is Gerard Rioti, and today we are going to look through a session in economics called inflation. We will look in subtopics around 10 subtopics where we will look through definition of inflation, measurement of inflation, type of inflation, general causes of inflation, effects of inflation, inflation and unemployment, solving inflation, inflation target and forecasting, deflation, and the last point will be inflation in East Africa. Welcome to our today's session. So, what comes into your mind when you hear about the word inflation? Inflation is a persistent increase in the general price level in an economy over a given period. Inflation is a persistent increase in a general price level in an economy over a given period. So, let us look through inflation as we have seen above, and our target today is to increase our understanding, our knowledge relating to inflation as our today's topic. So, inflation. It is commonly economic phenomenon that prices of goods and services always changes, either upward or downward. It is commonly known as a price of goods and services changes either by increasing or reducing, or in other words, either upwards or downwards. For consumers, the most disturbing is upward price changes. What makes us being disturbed is when the prices are changing upwards or are increasing. Consumers are get unhappier when the price changes by increasing. This is because it reduces the ability to afford those goods and services. It's because we get unhappier when the prices changes by upwarding, because it reduces the purchasing power or the ability to afford goods and services. So, when there is a general and persistent increase in the price level in the economy, then we say that the economy is experiencing inflation. We say the economy is experiencing inflation when there is a continuous increase of price level in the economy. It is not a short-term increase of prices, but when the price of goods and services are persistently or is continuously increased, in that time we say that the price or the economy is experiencing inflation. So, in other words, the inflation is a persistent increase in the general price level in an economy of a given period. So, in the above definition, the following should be notated. There should be a persistence increase in the price level must be persistent or continuously. Increase in price level must be persistent. There should be a continuous increase in prices. It is not a short-term increase of prices, but it would be a persistence or a continuous increase in prices of goods and services. Inflation only exists when the price increase occurs over a relative long period. Another thing that should be notated in the above definition, the increase of prices should be in long term. It should be in long term, relatively in long term. It is not for a short term. Another thing to consider when we notate that there is inflation in a given economy or country, there should be increase in price must be in general. It must not be in certain goods or services, but the increase in prices should be in general. It is not for a certain goods or services. The increase, the persistent increase of prices in a given economy or in a given country, it should be in general. So, the price or the average prices for all commodity is found to be increasing, then there is inflation. When the prices are persistent and generally decreasing, then we say there is deflation. Deflation is the opposite of inflation. When there is a persistent decrease of prices of commodity in a given economy of a given period, we say in economy there is inflation or there is deflation. But when there is a persistent or continuous increase of prices of goods and services over a given period, we say there is inflation. So, inflation does not mean that the prices are high. There is difference between increase in prices and the higher of prices. Inflation does not mean that the price of commodity are high. It means the prices are rising, continuously rising over a long period. So that's what we call inflation. Inflation is a persistent increase of general prices in an economy of a given period. So, how to measure inflation? What are the measurements of inflation? How to measure inflation in a given economy? There are two schools of thoughtful approaches to measuring inflation. The first is monetarist and neo-Keynesian approach. There is two approaches which we thought for the approaches of measuring inflation. The first one is called monetarists, and the second is neo-Keynesian approach. So how those two schools thought to measure inflation? The first one is monetarist approach. Prefer to measure inflation by directly observing the changes in money supply in an economy. Since they emphasize that inflation is always result of increase in money supply. So, according to this approach, when the price increased by 10%, then there is inflation of 10%. That is the approach of monetarists approach. Prefer to measure inflation by observing the changes in money supply in an economy, since they emphasize that the inflation is always result of increase in money supply. So according to this approach, when the price increased by 10%, there is inflation of 10%. So they emphasize about money supply in an economy. So let us look another approach called neo-Keynesian. Neo-Keynesian observe and measure inflation indirectly by measuring the changes in price of goods and services. So neo-Keynesian measures inflation indirectly by measuring changes in prices of goods and services. So this is because neo-Keynesian economists argue that inflation is only caused by increase in money supply, but that other factors also contribute to the inflation. So neo-Keynesian approach of measuring inflation by observing the changes in average price of goods and services over a period of time is most widely used in this topic. So, while measuring inflation, the basic question is by what percentage has the general price level changed between two periods of comparison. There should be a period of comparison. So let's take an example when there is a changes in prices of commodity or goods and services, persistent changes. By using this method of neo-Keynesian, we should be consider given years. Let's take an example. We are going to look a period of 2019 before COVID and 2022 after COVID. How we consider the prices. Is there prices changes? Is there any change in the price of goods and services? So we took this period and we consider whether there is persistent increase of prices of goods and services. If we get an original price, how do we consider? We took an original price of a base year and we remove the current price. We divide it by current price multiplied by 100. Let us do an example. We took an example. Let us suppose that the price for sugar before COVID, let us take an original year of 2019. Let us suppose it was 1,200 francs, and after COVID in 2025 it's 1,700 francs. So the year one as an original year, the year one, the price was 1,000. The year two, as a current year, it is 1,700. So, how can we calculate the inflation? So, the inflation by using the formula P1 minus P2 over or P1 minus P0 over P2 times 100. So, the percentage change the price of sugar between year 1 and year 2 is as follows. So we take 1,700, remove 1,000 divided by 1,000 multiplied 100, and we get 7 or we get it percentage. So that is an inflation between 2 years. So let us look on what we call common method of measuring inflation. What are the common method of measuring inflation? There are different ways of measuring inflation. There is what we call consumer price index, produce price index, Wholesale Price Index, GDP deflation. Purchasing Power Priority, core inflation, headline inflation, underlying inflation. Those are different methods of measuring inflation. So let us look it deeply, one by one. Those methods of measuring inflation. Consumer Price Index. The Consumer Price Index measures the changes in retailer prices of selection of goods purchased by a typical consumer. This is the most common method of measuring inflation in countries. So, the most common method of measuring inflation is called the Consumer Price Index, where we measure the changes in retailer price of selection of goods purchased by a typical customer. That is what we call Consumer Price Index. The second method of measuring inflation is called Producer Price Index. Producer Price Index. Producer Price Index measures the changes in price received by producers of goods and services. Those are the measures. The price changes received by producers for goods and services. This is differ from Consumer Price Index. It is an opposite, where the first type, we measure the changes in a retailer price of consumer for a typical customer, rather by considering the price changes in producers' price changes received by a given producer. So, the third one method of measuring inflation is called Wholesale Price Index. Wholesale Price Index. This is the measure the changes in price of selected goods at wholesale price before retail markup and sales of taxes. So, the index is very similar to the Producer Price Index. So, the fourth one is called GDP deflator. GDP deflator, or gross domestic product deflator. This is a measurement of average change in price level of all commodities in an economy. This is a measure the average changes in the price level of all commodities in economy. So, GDP deflator, or gross domestic product deflator. This is a measure the average changes in the price level of all commodities in an economy. So, the following method of measuring inflation is called Purchasing Power Parity. Purchasing Power Parity, PPP. Purchasing Power Parity is the measurement of inflation in location rather than in the time. It is a comparison of price differences by location rather than the time. So that is a purchasing power parity. The following measurement of inflation is called core inflation. Core inflation. This is inflation without considering food and energy prices. While measuring core inflation, the price of food items and energy sources like gas, fuel, electricity are excluded. That is what we call core inflation method of measuring inflation. We measure inflation excluding the food items and the fuel or energy prices. So there is what we call headline inflation. Headline inflation. This inflation measured by using price of only basic and staple foodstuffs. All price of other commodities are excluded. That is the difference from core inflation. There is what we call underlying inflation. Underlying inflation. This inflation that is measured by using price of other commodities except foodstuffs. The price of food items are excluded. It is what we call underlying inflation. So, let us look through the type of inflation. Types of inflation. So there is different types of inflation. There is what we call creeping inflation, hyperinflation, open inflation, suppressed inflation, demand pull inflation, cost push inflation, devaluation inflation, monetary inflation, and the last type of inflation is called scarcity inflation. Scarcity inflation. So let us look the meaning of all those types of inflation very quickly. Very quickly, let us look the meaning of those all the type of inflation. So before looking at those types of inflation, there is what called the rate of inflation. When inflation is classified according to rate or percentage changes in average prices, we have what we call creeping inflation, mild inflation, and hyperinflation. So those are when we consider inflation by using the rate. There is the creeping inflation, mild inflation, and hyperinflation. So those are type of inflation by considering its rate. So creeping inflation or mild inflation, also it is called gradual inflation. This occurs when the rate of increase in price is low and at time unnoticeable by the public, normally being less than 5% per year. When the rate of inflation is low and is less than 5% per year, this is not very high. It is not noticeable by public. It is called creeping inflation. Creeping inflation normally it is not rather than 5% per year. So, hyperinflation, or in other words, it is called runaway inflation or galloping inflation. This is when the prices are changing very high, at a very high rate. So, hyperinflation is rarely more than times. Recent example of hyperinflation include inflation in Zimbabwe, which was recorded at silently above 1,000% in 2006. So that's a very high rate of inflation, where per year the rate of inflation is more than 1,000%. It is what we call hyperinflation. The third type of inflation is inflation due to government intervention. Inflation due to government intervention. The first above we have seen the inflation caused by where we consider the rate and the changes of prices, where we get creeping inflation and hyperinflation. This is a type of inflation we consider by rate, where when the rate of inflation is less than 5% per year, because it is called creeping inflation. When the rate of inflation is very high, where it can be more than 1,000 per year, we have took an example of Zimbabwe in 2006. It is called hyperinflation. So let us look the type of inflation due to government intervention. Type of inflation due to government intervention. The first one is called open inflation. Open inflation. This occurs in free market economies, where government do not get directly involved in price control. When government does not directly involved in price control, and it results into persistent rise or increase in price, it is called open inflation. So the following is called suppressed inflation or incipient inflation. Incipient inflation. This is inflation that has been made unnoticeable through direct government intervention, particularly by price control. That is an opposite of the first one, an opposite of open inflation, where government make control of prices. So the third method or type of inflation, the type of inflation according to theories of inflation. Theories of inflation. Any factor that causes price to rise is called inflationary shock. Any factor that causes price rises is called inflationary shock. This is a contrary deflation shock. Deflationary shock, those are the factors that causes price decrease. reduce. That is the difference between inflationary shock and deflationary shocks. So according to theories of inflation, there is a type of inflation called demand pull inflation. Demand pull inflation. When in economy we say demand, what is demand? As you have seen in the previous session, is demand is a desire of commodity backed by ability to pay for it. That is what we call demand. Demand is a desire for commodity backed by ability to pay for it. So it is a desire. So demand pull inflation. Demand pull inflation occurs when aggregate demand or total demand in an economy persistently exceeds the aggregate supply in an economy at full employment level. So, demand pull inflation simply occurs when total demand in an economy exceeds total supply in an economy at full employment level. We will see in our next sessions when we say the economy is at a full employment level. So that is what we call demand pull inflation. So there is what we call cost push inflation. Cost pull inflation is an open economy. There are many potential inflationary pressure in many factors tend to force price to rise. Simply, cost push inflation occurs when a firm increases price in response to increasing cost of production. Cost push inflation occurs when a firm or a producer increases prices due to increase in cost of production. We record it cost pull or cost push inflation. So let us look at the effect of inflation. Effect of inflation. What is the effect of inflation? Is there any effect when price is persistently increase in a given period? There is some effect. There is some effects, either positive or negative effect of inflation. Let us look some positive impact of inflation. Positive effect of inflation. Inflation may lead to increased level of production. Inflation may lead to increased level of production. Producers are motivated by profits and prices. So, some producers are motivated by increasing prices and they produce more. So, as positive effect, producers may increase production as a result of increasing prices. So, inflation creates employment for otherwise unemployment factors of production. So, as you have seen, any positive effect of inflation, you have seen as producers are motivated by increase in prices and they produce more as a result of getting more profit. It end up creates more jobs because they need the employees to work in those production processes. So, as a result of inflation can lead to decrease of unemployment or create jobs. So, another factor or another effect of unemployment of inflation is called inflation increase government revenue base. So as you produce more, you sell more, the government get revenue from what you sell. As simple as that. As positive effect of inflation, increases government revenue base. So, let us look on negative effect of inflation. Inflation increase uncertainty and therefore discourage investment and savings as a negative effect. As the price of commodity in the market persistently increase, increase uncertainties and discourage savings and investment. So, income earners and pensioners are end up lower. So, as you know, when you get retired in certain jobs, there is some earnings called pension funds. When the price of commodity persistently increase, the purchasing power for that pension fund reducing. So as a result of those increase in prices. So, how can we solve inflation? Solving inflation, there is a monetary policy and fiscal policy. Monetary policy and fiscal policy. Let us look through the measures. How can we manage inflation as policies? There is what we call increasing bank rate, the interest of bank that gives to central bank to get a certain amount can be increasing. So, selective credit control. We select some banks as a way of controlling those who we give credit. So, open market operations, currency reform. In the last days, you have seen our currency have been reformed. This is a typical example of controlling inflation. There is currency reforms. Rising interest rates reduce government expenditures. Those aids governments gives to those peoples, increasing the money in situation, so that increasing the purchasing power. So as the money in the economy increasing, but the production is low, the government should reduce those aids, those government expenditures to those people who are getting money without producing anything, so as a way of controlling the prices. So they either increase production, way of producing more things. So as an impulse of controlling inflation, government should reduce expenditures. Rise direct taxes, to increase taxes. When they increase taxes, money reduce in saturation. Income policies, price control, trade policies, forced savings. Here's some forced savings when they force you to save for the future. What we call Israel. Those are policies to control inflation as such as that. Production process, these are where we this is a very crucial thing. To increase production is a very good thing to control inflation, where we decide to produce more as way of controlling prices. That is a very crucial thing, because when there is many things in the market, automatically prices are being low without making anything, because the things or the goods and services in the market are enough, so the price are getting lower. So thank you for today's session. As you know, my name is Gerard Rioti. We as a founder and owner of Gerard Rioti Limited, a company which do different things. We do what we call valuation services. We make land subdivision or surveying services. We do real estate activities, include brokerage, where we make a selling or buying coordinators, or we meet buyers and sellers. As a technical term is called brokerage. So it's now time of welcoming the partners, all those who want to advertise their activities. You are all welcomed. Our address, telephone number is 07-8641-3592 or 09-11-0922. 09-079-11-0922, or email address mohaegeradi@gmail.com. You are all welcomed for bright future or to increase the volume of your sales or your production. Thank you very much for today's session. As you know, my fellow students in economics, thank you for attending this session. If you get any problem or any question through this session we have seen above, I encourage you to write it in a comment of our YouTube channel, Gerard Rioti. Write in a comment, make subscription, share the video, and like. So I encourage you to make comment because it makes us more courageous, and we get what we can collect and what we can improve in our next sessions. Thank you very much. Have a nice Sunday. May God bless you. I love you all. Thank you.